I'm John Mendez, and we're just looking at one of our key boat skills, which is learning how to keep the boat stationary. So A, we have time to plan, and most importantly, we can keep it safe. And we're going to team that with learning how to judge when the boat is stopped. And to do that, we're going to use a little technique called transits, which is two objects that when lined up allow you to judge which way the boat is moving. And they work really well. As a motorboat, one of our big issues is our windage, and the fact that if we're not thinking about the wind really carefully, it quite quickly blows us into danger. Here I've got some quite cheap motorboats over to my starboard side, and I've got to be really conscious of what the wind's doing to me. One of the things we have to be able to do well is hold the boat in a stationary position so that we can always be safe and ready for our next manoeuvre. So I'm going to use this green post, which is on my bow right now, just coming up nicely, and something in the background to judge when the boat is reasonably stationary, port and starboard. So now I'm just in my mind lining up my boat with the green post, and as I look in the background now, I've got a nice ship, I've got a nice fire tower and a crane, and all of those things are all in slightly different positions. And as I spin the wheel here and use the gears, I can just position the boat so that we are holding the boat reasonably well on transit. I've got my green post, I've got a nice blue crane in the background, I've got my boat reasonably well positioned so that I'm lining them up, and I can judge, is my bow being swept or is it pretty stationary? And here I sit, I've got my two items in line. I haven't got my bow in line terribly, but I've got my boat positioned so that we're pretty straight and pretty stationary. Got to use anticipation. There's lots of gusts in this wind, and a little bit of a gust there, nearly lost the bow, so let's just bring her back on transit. And then the second part of this is, obviously I've got a green post nice and near, so I can judge am I going forward and backward. But I can also look to the side and take a different transit, which allows me to judge, is the boat in a safe position? Is it moving backwards? Is it moving forwards? And I've just lined up my two objects. I'm using the two posts on the end of this pontoon here. That's my transit going to the side. So I can see my boat is pretty stationary. It's just creeping back a fraction, tiny click of gear to keep me on. And then on the bow, I've got my green post, and I've got the nice fire station behind. And I'm just gently, I've come off a fraction there, sliding forward slightly. We're just going to do a little bit of a stern to just slow the boat, a little twist, just so we get it on both transits at the same time. And that's pretty hard. So just concentrating on the bow, just moving it gently across so that we're keeping it still in relation to the background. So we've done it bow to the wind, and what a lot of people don't realise is actually the boat sits stern to the wind much, much better. So here, with much less input from me, I've got a slightly different transit, but I'm still concentrating on the same two objects, my green post and my fire tower behind. And I'm just kind of gently looking at those, little glance to the side, make sure I'm happy with the positioning. I'm drifting a little bit on the wind because in typical English fashion it's gusting and it's moving direction, but we're able to judge there that we've got a nice little transit going on, little click of a stern just to keep the boat where I want, and it's much less effort. Bow to the wind, hard work, stern, nice and easy. Having practiced our holding station and being able to judge which way the boat's moving, the key thing when we berth the boat is that we can judge when it's stopped. So again, that's the transit to the side is really crucial. So we're just going to give a little demonstration of what that looks like, and as the boat slows down, how we need to think about what's happening and do we have control. So as I come forward here, we're going to have a post and a boat in a transit, which will allow you to see what I'm referring to. So as I drive the boat forward now, you'll see we've got a nice gusty day, so it's quite realistic this. You'll see that I've got a big post off to my starboard side with an A on it, and then there's a couple of motorboats beyond. So as I bring my bow up towards the A post, I've got the boat in the background, and I'm just judging the boat's movement through the water, still going forward, still going forward, still going forward. And we're just nicely looking to the side now and judging when do we stop. And the answer to that is just about now. And there we are stationary, one transit against the other, and we can see that my boat is stationary. We were playing sideways on the wind, that's inevitable because I haven't got a pontoon next to me. But now I'm just going to move the boat back and we can see what's happening.